Kia ora guys, gals and MB pals, I'm IRLS, and you're watching the Wholesome Report, your monthly dose of hope for humanity. Just like I said last month, this is a new news show and I'm very excited to bring you an episode 2. And I'm even more excited because today I am joined by a very special guest. Say hello!
Hello Alice in the studio! It's good to hear your voice! You might not be
Oh my god!
the tundric ice storm that is hitting us in the Arctic tundra of Canada! How are you in the studio?
I'm alive and I'm actually pretty warm despite it being winter here also.
Oh god, I can barely hear you over the sounds of the helicopter that is whipping over my head right now! Ah! It looks like I'm being rescued! Alright, talk to you in a bit!
Did they save you? That was me, I called them in.
Yeah, I'm good now. I'm assuming I've put you in the position where you now need to edit a bunch of animations and sound effects and stuff.
You underestimate my power!
So why don't you tell us your name and an interesting fact about you?
Oh, yes. Hello, everybody. I am OT, and I am 5'4".
That is so interesting. I'm very excited. OT will be my co-host this month.
For the month?
I do one of these a month, don't worry.
Okay, all right. I should have read more carefully before I signed that contract. Oh my goodness.
I'm actually a devil. I'm just good at making contracts that fool people into giving me their souls.
I should have listened to that old fortune teller when she told me this is how I'd die.
So, we're going to divide this show up into 3 segments. The first of which we will be discussing positive news from around the world. After that, we will talk about some positive news from my life, for those of you that are interested in that. And then we'll go on to our little wins, in which I cover some of the positive news from your lives. So, without further ado, breaking news from around the world. An Oregon man who quit his job to set sail with his cat arrives to cheering fans in Hawaii.
Wait, did he actually? Hold on. Is that the first link you sent me?
That is the first link.
I follow him on TikTok. Oh my god. Yes.
Oh my god.
Oh, okay. I was wondering why I wasn't seeing videos.
It's a crossover episode.
Okay.
An Oregon man who quit his job at a tire company and liquidated his retirement savings to set sail for Hawaii with his cat, Phoenix, reached his destination on Saturday, welcomed by cheering fans at the end of a weeks-long journey that he documented for his massive followers on social media.
Woo. I'm one of them.
One might say that he was getting pretty tired of his job. You didn't like that one, OT? Do you want to? I've got another one actually. Do you want to hear it? One might say that this is a pretty original story.
The spice?
You know, Oregon man? An Oregon man who quit his...
My goodness, what a stretch. I'm sure glad you had that spare handy.
OT's getting in on the pun action. I like it.
I know this is for like your audience and stuff, for them to feel good about the good news, but this good news actually makes me feel good too, because I was watching him when he announced that he's quitting his job, and then he started sailing and he was posting updates and he's like, oh, it's kind of stormy out here, and I was like, oh. But to hear that he didn't just get like stuck in a pickle and he actually made it all the way to Hawaii, that makes me feel good.
Oh my god. Word of the day, by the way. Pickle. Have you seen this, OT? Look at my camera cam. Look, this is my whiteboard.
I am looking at your camera cam, Alice, back in the studio, and I can see you twice, and your pickle. Very cool.
That's such an exciting piece of news. It just shows that, you know, if you want to have fun and go for your dreams, just quit your job and buy a boat.
Can you imagine having that capital? Jesus. Like, I stayed at all my terrible jobs because I didn't have enough money to buy a boat.
It also implies that the only reason a lot of people don't do this is because they can't buy a boat. And I think that's true.
I think if I was younger, I'd probably be able to do this, but now that I'm old, I'm a little too tired.
You're not old. What are you, like 25?
Tired. Too tired. Tires.
Okay, shall we move on to the next article?
All right, whatever. I at least gave your joke a pity reaction. Oh my goodness.
Hey, look, you didn't see. I looked at my camera and winked.
Mm-hmm.
I've just done it now so that I can add it in post.
Oh my god, so you weren't, you were gaslighting me? I can see you.
Gaslighting's not a thing, OT. Didn't you know that?
Lie?
Didn't you hear?
Why do you lie?
It's fun. Unparalleled snake anti-venom made from man bitten 200 times.
On purpose? Oh, he's a Gallagher. I see.
He's a Gallagher. What does that mean?
There might be some shameless fans in the chat that know what I'm talking about.
The blood of a US man who deliberately injected himself with snake venom for nearly 2 decades has led to an unparalleled anti-venom.
Wait,
say scientists.
injected himself? So he didn't get bitten 200 times? Oh my goodness,
Hang on.
even the news is gaslighting me now.
No, in total, Mr. Freed has endured more than 200 bites and more than 700 injections of venom he prepared from some of the world's deadliest snakes.
All right, never mind, it's a little bit more hardcore. Oh my goodness.
This is insane. Dude is the Terminator.
He's just tanking the shots. He's like, I want to prove that they do work. Try it on me.
It's crazy. This is also kind of amazing because this will actually save people's lives. From what I'm seeing here, they've basically taken his blood and used it to make anti-venom. Here we go. I'd love to get my hands on some of your blood. Vampire moment. A difficult man to be a vampire for, honestly. Can you imagine? You just go and you try and drink his blood and you're like, what the f is in this?
Oh, spicy.
That is some spicy blood.
Oh my goodness, he's a YouTuber? Shut the front door. I didn't want to die. I didn't want to lose a finger. I didn't want to miss work. Oh my goodness. He was doing this while holding down a job? It just became my lifestyle, and I kept pushing and pushing and pushing as hard as I could for the people who are 8,000 miles away from me who die from snake bite.
I joke around a lot, but that is like genuinely pretty awesome.
Immediately, I was like, if anybody in the world has developed these broadly neutralizing antibodies, it's going to be him. So I reached out. The first call, I was like, this might be awkward, but I'd love to get my hands on some of your blood. All right, never mind. Maybe it was good he was posting on YouTube. Holy heck, the scientist. What a weird niche community. What do you have to do to get into snake bite fandom? Where you just stumble upon his YouTube videos and then you're like, hey fam, can I steal your blood?
I think it's like a slippery slope. There's got to be a gateway drug somewhere, right? I watched a video once of this guy purposely getting bitten by a black widow because he was like, this is what happens. I reckon that's how you get into it.
Did you know you don't die from black widow bites? I didn't know that.
But they look so terrifying and menacing.
What's the new Australian spider?
Oh, the
Big.
Sydney funnel web.
Because the Sydney funnel web was already a spider. What's the new one? The big Australian scientists find it a bigger version of the one that was previously known. Here we go.
Oh no.
Oh, they called it Big Boy.
I feel like that's quite an affirming name for him. Like if I was a spider, I'd be pretty stoked with that. What are you? I'm Big Boy.
Oh, Big Boy. I thought you were saying he was a slippery slope because he slithered into that profession.
You are on fire today, OT. I'm impressed.
Oh, stop.
Shall we move on to the next article?
Yeah, it's your show.
Oh my god, you're right. Hiker missing for weeks in California's Sierra Nevada mountains found alive in snow-covered cabins. The Fresno County Sheriff's Office and the family of Tiffany Slayton, a 27-year-old woman from Jeffersonville, Georgia, reported on April 29th that they had not been in contact with her for the past 9 days.
We're on season 50 of Survivor.
Really? Where did you find that?
I have an advertisement at the top of my page right before the article starts, and it says, Joe is on season 50 of Survivor. Oh my goodness. Season 1 came out when I was a child. How old am I?
At a certain point, you've got to run out of ideas for a television show, right?
Do you think they'll survive this season?
You know, at a certain point, I'm gonna be honest, I kinda hope not.
Have you seen the show Naked and Afraid?
No.
I think it's called Naked and Afraid. It's where they send naked people out to live in different jungles and deserts and areas. It's where they take a group of people, sometimes just 2 of them, and they throw them into the middle of the woods just completely naked, and they can only bring 1 item with them. Some of them bring like a bag of matches. Some of them bring a machete, but they can only bring 1 item with them. They're otherwise naked other than this bag, and they have to film them for weeks surviving. And whoever survives the longest kudos, you did it. But a lot of people are coming back with diseases, nearly dying, afflictions that will last with them for throughout their entire lives. So yeah, they nearly die. But a Georgia woman who went missing for weeks while hiking in California's Sierra Nevada mountains has been found alive inside a cabin that was inaccessible due to vehicles because of the snowpack. Oh my goodness.
3 weeks of surviving in frozen conditions is pretty impressive. Like 2 days or 9 days? That's amazing. Fresno County Sheriff's Office spokesperson Tony Botti says, but 3 weeks, it's unheard of.
How many snacks was she packing in that cabin? Like when I go hiking, I have like a little bit of beef jerky. I have a little like granola bar. I have some extra oatmeal just in case I get stuck. Like, I have the basics, not 3 weeks worth of supplies.
In Canada, they have those 1 square meal things. Granola bar. You just melt that down into a big cube. Like 20
We have
of
granola
them.
bars, yeah.
You have, wow.
Jeez Louise, caught for 3 weeks under the snowpack in a cabin. That's quite a pickle.
But here that actually made me,
No word of the day? Okay.
we've already done word of the day. You can't get greedy.
Oh, so I can't just mention pickles after this?
On Wednesday, snowplows cleared Kaiser Pass, allowing the owner of Vermilion Valley Resort, Christopher Gutierrez, to access his property so that he could prepare for the summer season. As he was doing so, Gutierrez, who was aware of the ongoing search, found Slayton in a rental cabin. We see the door open and I see some shoes down there and I'm like, okay, well, it's just a hiker who decided to hold up in the blizzard we had that previous night. As soon as we start making our way there, here comes Tiffany. She pops out, deer in the headlights. So she pops out, didn't say a word, just ran up, and all she wanted was a hug.
Aww.
Aww.
No kidding. She's like, I'm freezing. Give me the warmth of your body.
So cute, honestly. Next article. A 19-year-old won $100,000 for inventing a cheaper, faster way to make antiviral drugs out of corn husks. So this kid here, his name is, I'm probably going to pronounce this horribly, Adam Kowalczyk. He came from Slovakia to Ohio, of all places.
That's where the corn is.
That is where the corn is. That's a very apt observation. Essentially, he has cut the cost of producing a antiviral drug massively, from $75 to like $12.50, which is very impressive. Could make it a lot easier to manufacture these antiviral medications and save a lot of lives.
Oh my God, do you see how tall he is? Scroll down a little bit. You'll see Columbus 2025. Ooh. Look at that picture. Oh my God, he's 2 people tall. Oh,
are you
jeez.
sure he's not just standing on a podium?
You know, now that
I think he might just be standing on a podium, okay.
Would they do that? That's so weird. Okay, anyways.
Do you have anyone like you talk to and you...
No.
Okay, well that's kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be 5 times as effective as Galidesivir against COVID-19. Binding more strongly to kill enzymes. It's gonna be 5 times as effective as Galidesivir against COVID-19, binding more strongly to enzymes to kill the virus. It's not gonna tell us how. I'm scrolling through. What is he doing to this corn? Have you seen that video of somebody extracting DNA from a strawberry?
No? What is that?
Looks like just a
That's awesome.
big old slimy wad of strawberry DNA.
They extract DNA from a strawberry and they were like, oh, do you want to see what DNA looks like? And I was like, I've never thought that DNA would have a physical presence that we'd be able to detect with our eyeballs, but it looks like gelatin. It's just a mass.
Is that what primordial jelly was then? It was just DNA.
It's just strawberries.
Oh, the next article's a fun one.
We're already on to the next one. We're done with corn. The story's been shucked.
New urinal designs could prevent up to 265,000 gallons of urine from spilling onto the floor each day.
How much did that guy drink?
Oh my God, what?
What
What are you talking about?
Why does he have no control over that? My goodness. Like, how far back are people standing and being like, no, I can hit it from here, I bet.
The precious nectar of the gods.
Have you seen somebody eat the hockey puck that's at the bottom of a urinal?
What the f? No. What have you? I'm not gonna lie, that's really weird, okay? That's really weird.
Sorry, good news video, good news, okay. Good news, I haven't.
They've got here 4 alternative urinal designs.
The one that looks like a pair of scissors coming up at you, not ideal.
Oh God, new bottom surgery just dropped.
The one with an extremely long bottom, okay, that's fine, so I can like...
They've called it the Nautilus.
The Nautilus?
That's way more badass than any urinal deserves to be
The
named.
Nautilus is kind of cool. The cornucopia is the one that I was worried about. That thing looks like it's gonna shear somebody off.
But the Nautilus, like, I can totally imagine dudes at bars just being like, I'm gonna go take a trip to the Nautilus. You know, it's
I don't like
yeah.
the La Fontaine. I don't like that at all.
That's French. How could you?
It cups too much. Oh, then let's not hear about the French now.
The problem is it's very difficult to improve upon the French urinal already, which is just the street.
Do you not like the French?
I don't like anyone, OT.
My goodness. You know what? I've been to
It's
France.
all-
And you know what it wasn't? It wasn't stinky.
I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
I don't. My main concern about this isn't just the spillage. It's also how much water is going to be used to be cleaning these different devices. Because sure, some of them are like low flow. They don't wash so much out of it throughout the whole day. I've seen designs like the Nautilus before, where it has water constantly flowing throughout the day to cut down on smell and bacteria growth in there, so that way the cleaners don't need to scrub them so hard. How is anybody gonna scrub the cornucopia? Are they gonna reach their arm on in there? Are you gonna create a new implement for that? There's so many other overhead costs that have not been considered for the cornucopia. Why is it even featured here? No. Thousands of gallons of ill-aimed pee could be spared from lavatory floors thanks to a new urinal design. I don't know if the cost to benefit ratio of this. I need to see the maths broken down for me. What is their test sample? Like, how many bathrooms did they swathe for how long? What period of time? What is their sample size? How many floors?
How did they come up with that number?
Did they just send one of their employees in and be like, ew, it was like a couple drops on the floor, and then they extrapolate to how many people pee a day?
Yeah, exactly. It's
How do they know how many bathrooms are in the world? No, none of this makes any sense.
an alternative method to getting this same result. You could just hire me. I'm sure I could fix this problem.
Like in the capacity of catching?
No, aim assist. What are you talking about? That's one of the worst jokes I've ever made. Let's move on to the next article. This is a good one. I've saved this one for last because it makes me happy. A straight ally started the most wholesome pride tradition and is leaving people with tears of joy.
Can I play catch with you, they would ask. We would toss the ball a few times and then I'd give them a hug.
In 2019, dad and ally John Pierre Matteo was trying to think of a unique way that he could show support for the LGBTQ+ community. He came up with play catch with a dad. I got the thought that there must be people in the world who had one or more family members disassociate with them when they came out, says Pierre Matteo, who's straight. That was the birth of play catch with a dad. I painted a simple sign and found a space to lean the sign against a tree while I sat with a football in my hands. I had no idea how the concept might be received. It took several trips past my sign before anyone got engaged. I watched people go by looking at the sign out of the side of their eye, then on the next pass, they might make eye contact with me. Finally, I would see them walking with purpose directly at me. Can I play catch with you? They would ask. We would toss the ball a few times, and then I'd give them a hug. That's so sweet.
Do you remember the news article back in, I think it was like 2019 in New York, where these two parents were going around and giving hugs from mom, hugs from dad at different pride parades for people who no longer had parents that would communicate with them? This reminds me of that. This makes me feel feelings.
It's just a nice thing to do, you know?
Yeah, that's super nice. What the heck? Roughly 2 out of every 5 interactions would result in the attendee crying in our arms.
It's really sweet. It's really sweet.
We have straight dads. We have gay dads. We have dads that have gay children and dads who have straight children. What unites us is our desire to help.
We need more people like this.
What a wholesome individual.
I think the real secret reason that they're doing this, it's an opportunity to make free dad jokes.
Oh, I get it. Free dad jokes.
He's a free dad.
He's a free dad.
Take him. And that is all of the articles that we have for you this month.
I think this has been a wonderful news segment. I am looking forward to tuning in to the brand new news show called
The Wholesome Report. Now it's time for the second segment of the show, Alice's News. For those of you that care about what I've been up to. The first thing that happened in the last month was that my birthday was on the 4th of May. And I had a lovely time. I had a super fun live stream with Chloe and ended up making a pickle video. Word of the day, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh, really? I mentioned pickle another time and get no fanfare, but you get special mention of pickle? Okay, all right.
It's my show. I'll do what I
Yeah,
want.
it's your show, and you made the decision not to give me fanfare. Ridiculous.
I'll give you fanfare on your next one if you can find a natural way to incorporate pickle into a sentence. Another thing that happened, I was in Wellington the other day and I was at a rock shop trying a couple guitars and I got recognized by a fan there, which was really funny. That doesn't happen super often for me, and it was really charming. Unfortunately, I did forgot to ask for your pronouns, so I will simply not refer to you.
Gender abolition. Hell yeah.
There's a tractor's just driven by outside. That was really loud. I got some rust on my little Miata fixed and my stereo's working, which makes me happy. And lastly, I've just continued to play a lot of guitar. Speaking of, here is the riff of the month. No one correctly guessed last month's riff, so I'll throw the song name on screen here. And that's all we have for Alice's news this month. Did you have anything you might want to share on topic? Like an OT news segment?
Really? No time to prepare, just putting me on the spot. Hey OT, tell me something personal about your life. Oh, you gave me prep time? That 2 minutes before we started recording? Oh, really? Okay.
I brought this up 2 days ago. Come on.
You did not say bring a personal story to the news segment in your incredibly long DM. You said...
Let me find it for you. Shall I find it, OT?
Whoopsie. So, I recently went on a vacation, and by vacation I mean I was working but not at home. And I went to the island of Jeju. It's south of Korea. It is made up almost entirely of volcanic rock, and they have some of the most incredible people there. I really enjoyed my time experiencing the culture, enjoying the oranges that grow there, and spending a little bit of time on the beach.
How big were the oranges? I love oranges. We have some great oranges here in New Zealand.
They have so many different types of oranges. I did a flight of oranges one evening, so we could try all of the different flavors.
A flight of oranges?
All the way from really sweet, all the way down to really sour.
I love the sour ones, to be honest. That's my preference.
It was more sour than a grapefruit.
Grapefruits are bitter.
Well, it would be more sour than that, wouldn't it?
Yes, you're right. You are right. That sounds like a really great time. How do you spell it? Let me look it up. Oh, cool.
One of my favorite things is dotted around the land, carved from the rock, and as a historical figure, you might recognize them almost being similar to the islands from, the heads from Rapa Nui. These are called stone grandpas. And they're just little old men that you rub the heads of, and it gives you good luck in having a child, specifically a son.
Oh,
so
that's so cute.
And they're shaped like phalluses.
Oh, good.
But like, it's fun to know the history behind them before I bring up that fact.
How long were you over there for?
Oh, not very long. A couple days. So I only had one brief afternoon on the beach visiting. Well, we did other activities. We tried to see 1.5 million other things, and we did, and it was nice. Also went to a tea museum on Jeju.
Oh, I love tea.
One of them, I got a tea called Volcanic Rock, and it's pretty good. You might even say it rocks.
Ooh, there you go.
It's just an empty chair in front of me right now. Alice is gone. Alice has left me alone with my thoughts and with all of you.
But come on, it's a pretty good place to be left alone. I'm assuming.
It's so funny you have a sign that says top and it's pointed at a bottom.
Don't you f***ing start. You will get, if you start doing that, my audience will never ever stop saying that. How dare you? How very dare you? Have you noticed as well that I have this sign here? It says live, laugh. And I think you should do that.
I might have struck a nerve.
I don't have anything to say to that. It's time for the last segment of the Wholesome Report. Little Wins! This is the segment where we go through my Discord server. There's a channel in there called #LittleWins, which is where you, my audience, can all send in all the positive news that happened in your life month to month. And we'll go through and pick out a couple choice entries from there. I'll share my screen so that you can see.
Brief pause, everybody. We're getting additional information from the head studio. Network delays, storm coming in. I hear there's heavy rains.
Oh God.
Oh no.
So we've had a lot of entries. Unfortunately, of course, we won't have time to go through all of them, so we'll just pick out 5 of the most fun ones. A user called Flair says, I got correctly gendered today. That's always so exciting the first time that happens. Oh, that might not be the first time that happens. It's really exciting.
It's exciting every time it happens. And to celebrate your wins every day is so important. That's awesome. I love hearing that. I came out to my dad, which I was really scared about, and he was supportive.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's amazing, Wayfarer.
Congratulations. That's always such a scary thing to do, honestly. I came out to my parents like 5 years ago. Still probably the hardest thing I've ever done to this day. Feast of Bullocks says, a friend from high school reconnected to tell me she's trans, and boy howdy did I have a surprise for her too. I feel like this happens way more often than one might think.
I think a lot of the community ends up finding other friends and friend groups that are very welcoming and accepting because they're like, oh, I don't really want to hang out with the people that throw a bunch of slurs around, so I'll hang out with the people that don't. And then the people that are not constantly slurring because that makes them feel bad usually end up coming out.
Quixotic Critter says, I immigrated to Britain 3 years ago and I just passed my English speech exam with the highest mark possible. Well done!
What was her name?
Quixotic Critter.
It's quixotic.
Isn't it? No, I don't think it is actually, because I think that's a that's a username based on Don Quixote, the book, isn't it?
Don Quixote?
I'm gonna edit that out.
Wait, what? I got called her at a metal concert. OMG, I finally understand what everyone means. Oh, Hazel.
Yeah! Metal! Honestly, I've been to a lot of metal concerts and the people there are so accepting. I've always had a really good time at metal concerts.
Some of the softest people are at the hardest of events.
For
I
real.
absolutely believe that. Metal concerts are awesome. You ever seen the grandma in the mosh pit where she's on her walker? And people
No?
are just running a circle around her, behind her, so she can participate but not get knocked over?
I'm gonna look for that and I'm gonna edit it. I'm gonna put that up on screen in editing.
Heck yeah.
Hell yeah. That sounds amazing.
Oh, that's a sweet one. I made it to 30.
Aw. Congratulations.
There's so many good stories in there. There's
I
so
know.
many people sharing so much good news. Your Discord is a really positive place to be. I love that.
It's awesome.
I love your little wins room. I think I'm gonna add that to mine. What the heck?
It's so good. I wish I had more time to go through all of these. I might talk about them on stream and just like sort of scroll through them because they're so sweet. Discord link in the description if you want to join. But yeah, it's such a nice little community and I'm really glad I made this channel. I think it's really cute. But that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for watching and thank you so much to OT for joining me in this month's episode.
Never again.
What? I'm gonna turn off the screen share.
You're about to hang up on me. I saw that.
Yeah, it's been great having you on, OT. I think this has been really fun and I hope it'll be a great video and I hope people enjoy it. If you did, viewer, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment, say something about OT, something positive or negative, you know.
Wow.
Share your opinions.
Oh my god, dripping in sarcasm. Are you kidding me? Thanks for having me on. This was a lot of fun and I really like the idea of doing a news segment once a month where it's just positive news focused. It was kind of like at the beginning of the pandemic when John Krasinski, the guy that played Jim from The Office, decided to do a good news show on YouTube and then did that for a few months and everyone's like, oh, this is so much fun. It's Jim talking about good news. He's so wholesome. And then he sold it and it was like, oh, okay. And then nobody ever watched it again. So I don't know, get that bag, King, or whatever. But doing this instead with just a small, a creator on YouTube instead of just like a big Hollywood actor person, that's kind of cool. I like this.
Yeah, for sure. I just think, especially in times like these, people can use a little bit of good news from time to time.
Oh, can I celebrate one of my little wins?
Oh, of course you can! Of course you can!
Okay. I got invited to a really cool project, and I was very excited to be able to participate in it today. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Here's my little win.
Oh, you know what? I was actually, before you said that, when you mentioned that you had a little win, I was gonna say my little win is that I got to collab with One Topic.
Hooray!
But yes, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Toodles!